When you reach your 60s and beyond, an important question arises. Who will truly stand by your side? In your younger years, the answer might seem simple. Your family, your closest friends, those you've shared memories with for decades. But as time moves forward, reality paints a different picture. Life evolves, responsibilities shift, and people get caught up in their own worlds. What once felt like an unshakable support system may not be as dependable as you expected. This discussion isn't about distancing yourself from loved ones. It's about recognizing where lasting stability comes from. As you age, certain aspects of life provide more consistency than any one person ever could. By focusing on these essential elements, you can create a strong foundation that ensures security and independence, no matter what challenges arise. The first pillar of true support is financial independence. More than anything, having control over your finances gives you freedom, security, and peace of mind. While money can't buy happiness, it does ensure that you won't have to rely on others for your basic needs. Many assume that if they ever face financial hardship, their children or close family will step in to help. However, reality often tells a different story. Consider Richard, a 72-year-old man who had always believed his children would be there for him financially if needed. He had supported them through their education, helped with their loans, and always stepped up when they faced difficulties. But when he encountered an unexpected medical expense that drained his savings, he turned to his children for help, only to realize they were struggling with their own financial burdens. Not because they didn't care, but because life is unpredictable. This is why financial security should never be left to chance. It's not about being wealthy, it's about being prepared. Have a safety net, create a steady income plan, and manage your resources wisely. If you haven't already, ask yourself, do I have enough saved for emergencies? Is my retirement plan secure? Have I minimized unnecessary financial risks? If the answer is uncertain, now is the time to take control. Budget carefully, avoid unnecessary debt, and invest in long-term stability. Because when all else falls away, your financial security will always be your most reliable ally. The second pillar that stands the test of time is your physical health. No amount of money or support from others can replace good health. Once you cross 60, your body either becomes your greatest asset or your biggest limitation. You could have all the financial security in the world, but if your health deteriorates, your independence vanishes. While family and friends may care for you deeply, they cannot exercise for you, choose healthy meals for you, or halt the effects of aging on your behalf. That responsibility is yours alone. Unfortunately, many people assume that when health issues arise, someone will always be there to care for them. But even the most devoted family members have their own commitments and may not always be available when you need them the most. Take Carl, for example, a 68-year-old who was once active but gradually became sedentary after retirement. He always told himself he'd get back in shape eventually, but before he knew it, his energy declined, simple tasks became difficult, and his mobility suffered. His children visited when possible, but they had their own families to care for. It wasn't until Carl took his health seriously that he regained control over his life. You don't need to be an athlete to stay healthy. Small, consistent efforts make a huge difference. Stay active, eat nourishing foods, and never ignore warning signs like persistent aches or fatigue. Regular checkups can catch potential health issues before they escalate. The more you prioritize your health today, the less you'll have to depend on others in the future. Your strongest support isn't your family. It's your ability to remain strong, capable, and self-sufficient for as long as possible. If you're still engaged with this discussion and find these insights valuable, take a moment to acknowledge this pillar by leaving a comment below. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing so you don't miss future insights that can help you build a more secure and independent life. Now, let's move forward to the next pillar, your social connections. One of the biggest mistakes people make as they age is allowing themselves to become isolated. It happens gradually. Friends move away, loved ones pass on, and before you know it, your once vibrant social circle has dwindled. Have you ever thought about how crucial friendships are as you grow older? Without strong social connections, loneliness can quietly creep into your life. And loneliness, especially after the age of 60, isn't just about feeling alone. It can impact your emotional well-being, mental sharpness, and even your overall health. Many people assume that family will always be there to provide companionship, but the reality is different. Your children have their own lives, responsibilities, and commitments. While they may love you deeply, they can't always be your primary source of social interaction. This is why building and maintaining a strong social circle is one of the most essential aspects of healthy aging. The people who check in on you, share a laugh, and bring positive energy into your life aren't just a luxury, they are a necessity. Consider the experience of Margaret, a 73-year-old woman who once depended solely on her family for companionship. She had 2 loving sons, but as time passed, their visits became less frequent. They were caught up with work, raising their own children, and handling their responsibilities. Margaret found herself spending long hours alone, waiting for calls that didn't always come. Then, she decided to make a change. She reconnected with old friends, joined a community group, and picked up new hobbies that introduced her to fresh faces. Suddenly, her days were filled with engaging conversations, shared laughter, and a renewed sense of purpose. She no longer had to rely solely on her family for social fulfillment. She built a rich and rewarding network on her own. Friendships, social gatherings, and even casual acquaintances provide something invaluable, a sense of belonging. Whether it's a neighbor you chat with, a book club you join, or a local fitness class you attend, having social interactions outside of your family strengthens your emotional foundation. The more connections you foster now, the more support you'll have in the years ahead. So, take a moment and reflect. Who in your life brings you happiness? If you struggle to find an answer, it's time to expand your circle. Because at its core, a strong social network isn't just about company. It's about being surrounded by people who uplift you, reinforce your sense of worth, and make every stage of life more fulfilling. Another key element in leading a fulfilling life as you age is your sense of purpose. Many people overlook how critical it is to have a personal reason to wake up each day. Once you retire or your children become independent, the roles that once defined you, be it as a professional, a parent, or a caregiver, begin to shift. Without something meaningful to engage in, it's easy to feel lost or even invisible. No matter how much your family loves you, they cannot give you a sense of purpose. That's something you must cultivate for yourself, whether it's through hobbies, learning, volunteering, or setting personal goals. Finding a purpose keeps your mind sharp and your emotions balanced. It gives you a sense of engagement with the world rather than feeling like a spectator. Consider George, a retired 70-year-old engineer. When he first stepped away from his job, he was excited about the idea of relaxation. However, after a few months, he started feeling restless. His kids visited occasionally, but his days felt empty. That's when he made a decision. He began volunteering at a local school, teaching children how to build things. Before long, he had a renewed sense of purpose. He woke up every morning feeling valued, engaged, and useful. Purpose doesn't have to be tied to a career. It can be anything that excites you: gardening, mentoring, painting, traveling, or setting small daily challenges for yourself. The goal is to stay mentally and emotionally active. If you've been feeling like your most meaningful years are behind you, it's time to change that mindset. Your purpose doesn't vanish with age, it evolves. The more effort you put into finding joy and meaning in your daily life, the less you'll depend on others for happiness. Because at the end of the day, the strongest foundation of support isn't just the people around you. It's the fire within you that keeps pushing you forward. If you're still here and finding value in these insights, let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already, Consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Your support allows us to continue bringing you content that informs and inspires. Now, let's talk about something equally important: your emotional resilience. Life presents challenges at every stage, and after 60, they don't disappear. They just take different forms. Friendships change, loved ones may no longer be around, and health concerns may arise. Some days may feel lonelier than others. But the truth is, no matter how much support you receive from others, your most reliable source of strength will always be within yourself. The ability to adapt, process emotions, and find peace in difficult times is what keeps you moving forward. Too often, people rely on family members to be their primary emotional support system, expecting that children, siblings, or relatives will always be available to provide comfort. But the reality is, everyone has their own struggles to manage. Your loved ones may not always have the time, energy, or capacity to be your emotional anchor. This is why building emotional resilience is so crucial. When you develop inner strength, you can find peace and stability within yourself, rather than always seeking it externally. Take Helen, a 75-year-old woman who lost her husband after 40 years of marriage. The grief was overwhelming, and for a while she felt completely lost. But instead of allowing herself to sink into despair, she made a conscious effort to heal. She sought support from grief counseling, engaged in activities that brought her joy, and gradually built a new rhythm for her life. It wasn't easy, but she learned to embrace her emotions, adapt to change, and continue moving forward with strength. Emotional resilience isn't about ignoring pain. It's about developing the tools to navigate it. Meditation, journaling, engaging in creative outlets, or simply talking to trusted friends can help you build this inner strength. It's about understanding that while challenges will come, they don't define you. What defines you is your ability to rise, rebuild, and embrace life, no matter what stage you're in. At the end of the day, the greatest support system you have isn't just the people around you. It's the unshakable strength within you. If you've connected with these ideas and want to share your thoughts, drop a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss upcoming content designed to inspire and empower you. Remember, every stage of life holds opportunities for growth, joy, and deep connection. You just have to be willing to embrace them. In the beginning, she leaned on her children for emotional support. They loved her deeply, but as time passed, she realized they had their own families and responsibilities to manage. She knew she couldn't expect them to fill the emptiness she felt inside. Rather than letting loneliness consume her, she chose a different path, one of self-strengthening. She joined a support group, took up journaling, and embraced daily gratitude. With time, she uncovered a powerful truth. She didn't need someone else to mend her sadness. She possessed the inner strength to heal herself. Emotional resilience isn't about suppressing pain or pretending to be unshaken. It's about recognizing your emotions, processing them in a healthy way, and building strategies that allow you to navigate life's twists and turns with grace. It's about finding your own sources of peace, whether through writing, meditation, therapy, or quiet reflection, rather than relying on others to provide it. Life will always have its challenges, but your ability to stand firm on your own is one of your greatest strengths. The more you nurture emotional resilience, the less you will feel dependent on others for validation or fulfillment. Because at the end of the day, the one person who will always be there for you through every trial and every victory is you. A key factor in leading a fulfilling life after 60 is the ability to adapt. Life is ever-changing. People move on, circumstances shift, and the things that once felt constant may no longer be as reliable. The secret to thriving at this stage is not in clinging to the past, but in embracing the present. Those who struggle the most with aging are often those who resist change, who hold on too tightly to what was, instead of embracing what is. On the other hand, those who remain open, flexible, and willing to explore new opportunities find joy and fulfillment, no matter what life brings. Some assume that by a certain age, they are set in their ways. But this mindset can be limiting, keeping them from new experiences, meaningful relationships, and personal growth. Adaptability isn't just about accepting change, it's about actively seeking ways to grow with it. Take Frank, a 78-year-old man who always cherished in-person friendships. As his friends moved away or passed on, he initially felt isolated. He thought to himself, "Is this just how it is when you get older?" But instead of resigning himself to loneliness, he adapted. He learned to use video calls to stay in touch with distant loved ones, joined an online discussion group about history, and even made new friends in the process. Instead of letting change defeat him, he embraced it as an opportunity to evolve. The people who flourish after 60 aren't necessarily the ones with the most financial resources or the strongest family support. They are the ones who remain curious, who refuse to be stuck in their ways, and who find ways to adapt to whatever life presents. When a door closes, they look for another. When relationships change, they find new ways to connect. When something stops working, they are willing to try something new. Your ability to adapt is one of the greatest supports you will ever have. It allows you to navigate life with confidence, optimism, and resilience. The more you welcome change rather than fearing it, the less you'll feel like you're losing something, and the more you'll recognize that each phase of life brings something new to gain. If you've made it this far and are finding these insights helpful, type "yes" in the comments below to let me know you're watching. Your engagement helps me continue creating content that adds value to your life. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Your support allows us to keep bringing you thoughtful content designed to inform and inspire. Reaching 60 and beyond comes with wisdom, but it also brings challenges. While family remains a cherished part of your life, the most consistent support you will ever have isn't found in other people. It's built within yourself. Your financial security ensures you don't have to depend on anyone to meet your needs. Your physical health determines your independence and freedom. Your social connections keep you engaged and emotionally enriched. Your sense of purpose gives your life direction and fulfillment. Your emotional resilience strengthens you in times of hardship. And your ability to adapt allows you to continue thriving, no matter what changes come your way. When these foundations are in place, you will never feel truly alone. You won't have to wait for someone else to step in and support you. You will never feel powerless in the face of difficulty, because real stability doesn't come from hoping others will be there. It comes from knowing that you are already prepared to stand strong regardless of what life brings. Thank you for being part of this journey. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and share something you learned today, or tell us how you plan to apply these insights in your life. Your reflections are important to us, and we appreciate every message you share. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support enables us to continue creating meaningful content for you. Thanks for watching, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.